All right, we are back with the next question. And the next question is, what's the boldest move you've ever witnessed in someone else, and how did it inspire you? Um, I think that when I was in my early 20s, and actually probably throughout my 20s and into my early 30s, I would say that whenever I was listening to anybody speak up in team meetings or stand on stage and do a presentation, I would, one, dread it if it was going to be my turn. And two, I would hear this internal dialogue of, I wish I could do that. I wish that I could sound like that. Or there was another internal dialogue, not as complimentary, which was, ooh, she doesn't sound very polished. I don't know if I use polished, but she sounds squeaky, or she doesn't sound very confident. So there was this judgmental dialogue as well. And so I think that I wouldn't have ever considered that inspiration. I wouldn't have looked and gone, wow, these people are so inspiring me. But I do think that it was showing me, if I'd have been able to wake up and hear it, like that's what I wanted for myself. So this piece around having a voice and using my voice for impact, using my voice for good, using my voice to inspire, that I think was there all along. And this was part of it. This was part of my path of waking up, and I just in those moments wasn't waking up. So I think being around people who show me something that's possible for myself, even if in those moments I'm not realizing that that's what's happening. So I guess I want to be a stand for that, and part of this video now has just become a wake-up call to, where do you hear yourself going, I wish I could do that, or criticizing somebody, and have a look and see, like, am I judging from the sidelines? And is this actually masking something that if I was really truly honest with myself, that's something that I would want, or a version of it, right? So it might not look like standing on stage. I might not want to stand on stage in front of hundreds of thousands of people. That might not be it. But it might be pointing me to, I want to be able to um, I want to be able to stand up and speak and own the space, and be influential and inspiring with my contribution. And it might manifest in small women's circles, or it might manifest in different ways, not necessarily the big flashing lights. So don't be tricked by that either. But yeah, take a look and see, like, what is it that I am becoming aware of as I sit with this question that I have pushed down or suppressed because it's felt too scary or too edgy to even own, and to say that I want that. And if that is the case, because I had this as well, I've always wanted to build my own house, and have never, in an event that I was in, I didn't want to write that down as like a commitment that I was going to make, because I didn't think that it was possible. And so I didn't want to write it down, because if I didn't think it was possible and I'd written it down, I would be out of integrity. So sometimes playing with, what might I do? What could I do? What am I sensing that I want? I don't have to do it. I'm not making a commitment yet. And that in itself can be really helpful, because then we don't like lock ourselves into this value of integrity. Is there anything else I want to say about that? Yeah, and then I would say some of the people who I know have been incredibly inspirational to me are people like Byron Katie. I went to spend 9 days in her school in LA a few years ago now, I think it was 2022. And just watching her on stage, she was just this, like, such graceful presence and such strength. It's such a different energy to, pumped up motivators. There was just this stillness and this radiant beauty coming from her. And it was incredible to be around her. And I was watching, some people were sharing that they thought her event was rubbish, and, I'm not getting anything from this thing that we did, or I was ready to leave after the first morning because I thought it was rubbish. And, they were on the microphone sharing this in a room full of 400 people. And it was just so fascinating to watch Katie's response of, I'm so glad you're here. And she just was, I don't know, there was just this unshakable, impersonal, like nothing was personal. Everyone was allowed to share like what they were thinking and believing. And she could really see that that's all that was there. And I think, that's so inspiring, especially for me. I'd love to somehow help contribute to a kinder, safer world. I've always cared about safety and kindness. And I feel like when you're watching her, that was really what shone through. And in a world where we take everything personally and something really funky happens with our communication, where what's said and what's heard are two different things. And then we get into like, and so I think just it was really inspiring to be around her in those moments where other people might take it personally or get defensive. Um, she just welcomed it all. And then the other thing that, excuse me, the other thing I would say about that is because years ago, if I didn't know what I knew now, I would be listening to myself in this video saying, yeah, but that's like, I don't want to be a doormat. Like, I've got to stand up for myself if what they're thinking and believing is not the truth. Like, I'm not going to just tolerate putting up with that. And so there was this fire in me um, that would be really resistant to hearing what I'm saying now. And the other thing that I saw in Katie was this really firm boundary around, if somebody asked, if she's doing something and somebody asked for something, and she would just say, oh, I love you, but no, and get back on with what she was doing. And no matter how much of a hissy fit the other person was having about her response to them, she was just like really clear in herself about, I can be kind and gracious and compassionate and firm. And it's okay if you're going to create that experience for yourself. And so I love that. It was like just this beauty to be with what is, and also this agency to create what we want. Yeah, so I think I'll leave it there. I get around people who inspire you, get around environments that are inviting you into your next level and pulling you forward into your next level instead of keeping you stuck in the one that you're at. It's been so inspirational. It's not something everyone likes to do because they make it mean something about themselves. They don't want to be the worst one in the room. They want to be the best one in the room. They don't want to be the beginner. They want to be the most advanced because we've learned to sound like the expert, or, and that's not a philosophy that I buy into. I love being in communities and environments where people are thinking way beyond what I'm thinking. It stretches me, it helps me see differently. It's so fun. But I think it can only be fun when you don't put a judgment on where you're at, thinking that you should be somewhere other than where you're at. So let me know what's coming up for you in this. Let me know what's the environments that you want to be getting into. Let me know what your let me know what you surface when you sit with this question. I'd love to know more. All right, I'll see you soon.